Hello YouTubers, this is the noobifier. It's Friday and that means Star Citizen Live with Tony Z about the dynamic events. Here's what you need to know in 4 minutes and 8 seconds. Tony said that they're always impressed and often underestimate how many citizens log in to participate in these major events. The feedback is always good and valuable for the team. The long-term goal of Star Citizen is to build the universe as a series of dynamic events. The majority of our content today has been player-driven or player-triggered. Dynamic events are defined as complete short stories that can be local or may have other global ramifications. Tony said that they also plan to be able to add and trigger custom-themed events, which would add to the longevity of the game project. Tony stated numerous times through the 1-hour show that Quantum, as he briefed at CitizenCon 2018 and 2019, is still the core building block needed to support this feature, which is unchanged. The building block is the foundation that the designers can use to configure the data structure that would build up the missions. The missions in Star Citizen will automatically account and change based on the area that the mission is occurring. Tony's confident that sometime this year, rather than providing another theory show, he hopes to perform a live demonstration of the current build of Quantum in a Q&A session. Jared confirmed that we should no longer expect firm dates to be attached to features as directed by Chris. Tony went into great detail about the challenges having to do with the release of Xeno. His goal was to balance the quality of On the Rails enough with tweaking to make it seem more real and analog. This meant balancing the behavior for the cap ships, which was a challenge for both the railgun and the turrets. 100% effective logic would result in a no-win chance for the players. To give us a chance, they needed to add layers of imperfect logic and personality. This was tested vigorously by the developers and now by us. All lessons learned are going to be added automatically to future missions as a start state, plus this will define Quantum as well. I understood that statement as Tony basically telling us that although it may seem like a big waste of time, for the developers it's actually super important to invest that time now to do this. Shared servers was the next topic for a bit. Tony confirmed that there is a client-server architecture that interfaces actions from the back end of the system. As players win or lose, that data is captured, so the logic can be adjusted, changing how the mission plays out the next time. Tony's main concerns launching Xeno was performance. They're confident that server meshing, when added, will support this and many versions of this mission at this scale without tanking performance. Leading up to the event, aggressive measures were taken to reduce the performance hit. Xeno has the most concurrent turrets, AI pilots, and cap ships ever seen in one place. Tony's confident that future events would be even better. Tony confirmed that these events can be seen as large modules that are chunked into sections of space and come with all the logic, assets, dialogue, and narrative, plus the consequences. It was very cool to hear him say that this is configured or being configured as part of that 10-year launch plan that Chris has been promising since Kickstarter. This system can be used for standard encounter missions that are mainly on the rails, but expands all the way to full-blown dynamic. Tony said that the basic parameters of the missions would change based on what was happening in that section of space. For example, if a cargo ship in the mission was going towards a refinery, it would be filled with ore. But if that ship was leaving an outpost, it may be filled with a commodity instead. The commodity would make sense based on where it was leaving from, so it may be filled with laranite, medical gear, or drugs. We went down a rabbit hole for a little bit where Tony went deeper into the full complexity of the cause and effect for Quanta. Tony said that missions are intended to be stacked into the universe as they're done, resulting in more and more playable content for us to experience. He said that some future missions would be programmed dynamically to escalate if the player did not successfully counter it, specifically using an incursion that would be allowed to happen. If the community does nothing, the result would be that the system is altered and we now have more variables to deal with that space occupied. The chain of events would propagate automatically as defined by subsumption and quantum. I'm going to sum up this rundown there, as it's always fantastic to hear from Tony, but parts became a refresh of what we've been told in the past. I have 2 important links in the description, which are the 2018 and 2019 breakdowns. That should be considered as required viewing if you haven't seen it. That's it. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse.